Oh, hey. Hi, I'm Jessie. Sometimes Laces, sometimes others, but mostly I'm the head bitch. Welcome to my Super Weirdo series where we celebrate those who have defied expectations, broken the rules, and built a life and a career all their own. Today's guest is Vatana Shaw, a goddess that lives amongst us, audio engineer, major label recording artist, talent manager, Web3 director to agent. V does what she wants and goes for it. As soon as I met her, I knew she was meant to be in my life. Without further ado, I think we can get this party started. What do you say? I'm ready. V! Hey
Hi,
girl,
Jess.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Just drinking my little Chardonnay. What about you?
Cheers.
Cheers to you. Listen, we keep it classy, we keep it weird here. Um, V, I'm so excited to interview you. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Of
Um,
course.
to me, you are a builder, you're an innovator. And when you didn't like the box that was assigned to you, you threw it out and you forged your own path. Threw the whole thing out. Um, I'm so curious, where does your strength and inspiration come from?
I think definitely the matriarchs in my family, just really strong women, that migrated here from the South in the 50s during Jim Crow. And they just kind of have like that attitude where we're always going to find a way no matter what. And we're always going to make things as viable and plush as we can within our resources. Even though we came up the way we did, which was, in LA, not a lot of money, they still made everything feel so rich, rich in love, rich in culture. And so that to me is like worth like being strong for. If they could do it, I could do it, right? So
That's the most badass answer ever. And I can totally see that that's who you are. You know, I wish we had gotten to spend more time together. And obviously, I'm going to annoy you and stalk you forever. But it's been so interesting getting to know you because I feel that strength in you every time I see you and anytime
thank you.
you work and you talk and you're so present and you bring yourself authentically to each moment. So thank you for sharing that with me.
Thank you. I mean, I feel the same way about you ever since I met you. We
Yeah.
got that little short window and, you know,
We're flirting. It's fine. We're just gonna cruise on it. Hey, was there like a pivotal moment, an epiphany, a singular moment, if you will, that changed the trajectory of your journey? Like, what made you go from weirdo to super weirdo?
mm, I think, my story is a little similar to yours, right? I was an artist signed to Republic when I was like a kid, like 18. And when that didn't work out and I had to start back over like from scratch, it was like, what now? And it was very important to me to be around people that were passionate, but I didn't really want to be around people that were passionate about being famous or entertainment at the moment.
Hmm.
And so I buckled down and I went and got my degree and studied a lot of psychology, a lot of business psychology, organizational psychology. And I came back and, I was like, what did I like about my experiences in music? And it was seeing something from its inception to, product to delivery. And I was just like, that's what I want to do. I want to manage artists. And I started my own company.
That's amazing. You're just like, I'm just gonna do what I want. Sorry.
Yeah, because I mean the resources I feel that get allocated in our industry, goes to, talent that doesn't meet the intersections that I like to give resources to. So I like working with queer people. I like working with people of color. I like working with people who wouldn't traditionally get like money behind them or have attention or have a team. Um, and I like hardcore real talent. And sometimes in our industry, it's just about the numbers, which is great. We want the numbers too. But I think that for me, I didn't want to be a salesman. I wanted to support and amplify like what was already just great, you
Yeah,
know?
I totally respect that. And I think that it's so needed because um, empathy and leadership, and as well as assisting others on their journey in music, is just not really happening in a real way. It happens on paper. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it's another thing to put it into action. So it's so interesting that you do that. How did you find that talent, and what was it in you that made you feel like you were the one to kind of pioneer that?
Which part? Just like
Finding,
managing?
yeah, finding like queer talent and underrepresented artists. Um, what made you say, I think I can be the one to lead them in, or not lead them, but be a partner and elevate what they're trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, I just it's relational. If you share a similar come from, as a certain group of people, then you've already presented safety. You already have an understanding. You already have a cultural competency that's necessary to help build a brand, to build a business, And I think sometimes for folks of color, you're working with a lot of people who haven't experienced what you've experienced or don't understand what it feels like or who your audience is. And I think it's important for people to have all people who work for them and with them, but there needs to be representation, some folks on the team that see them.
Yeah, that's for fucking sure. I'm curious, what have been the setbacks and challenges you faced throughout your very, very layered career?
um Challenges, I think, just like, people not believing early on. Everyone waits for everyone else to catch on, and um
We call those people sheep. Bah.
sheeples. Yeah, I mean, just the no's in the beginning, until you can show your own proof of concept. There's just so many no's.
And even when you do have a proof of concept, there seems to still be people that doubt your ability. So how do you handle that?
It goes back to the first question. It's like, where do you pull strength from? Like, what's my why?
Yeah.
Like, what's my driver?
Yeah.
um what are my values? Like, what's important to me? And what's important to me is like making sure I manage like expectations for myself first, and then the people that I commit to. What's important to me is education, so the more I learn, the more I teach people around me,
Hmm.
whether that be in our industry, whether it be about like finances, literacy. Like, I just like to share, and I also like to learn. So I'm not afraid to try because I want to know. I'm naturally curious.
Yeah, I think it's important to be curious because you're not so afraid to look silly and fail, because the only way that you're going to succeed is if you fail and if you try. And I think that going back to the sheep people, they are less likely to try. They're kind of okay with the status quo. And I think that everyone has their own journey and it's okay to be that way. Um, it's never worked for me. Uh,
Clearly, clearly.
what? Yeah, it's never worked for me. But I think that it's important that the innovators and builders do kind of push boundaries. They're not afraid to fail in a very public way. I mean, you've been an artist. I mean, you've done all of the things. So anytime you succeeded, people were watching. And anytime you failed, people were watching. Like, that's a crazy thing. And that takes a lot of strength. And I think going back to our original point, I know where it comes from now.
Absolutely.
You know, you have that resilience too. Um, how do you, or
Hmm.
would you, encourage other super weirdos out there to show up authentically, take up space, and break the rules?
Um, I just say, like, pay attention to what your experience is giving you. I think a lot of times we get so fixed on the thing we started out doing or the thing we said we were going to do.
Yes.
And the best piece of advice that I got, when I was younger was like, don't be afraid to venture off. Like, if you were in graphic design, but then all of a sudden you had to, build a stage installation, and you realized that you had some skills that were good there, but you liked it. Don't be so fixed on being a graphic designer that you don't go and kill it in stage design, you know? Um, and so just like being open to, being in the flow of where life takes you. You get all these signs sometimes and you just don't budge because you're like, no, I said I was going to do this thing. So I just try not to stay so fixed. Um, because I believe that like work ethic and I believe that skills are highly transferable. And I just believe people are always watching, whether that be like the artists we like support and are stewards for, or, you know, people who see themselves in us, you know?
Yeah, I love that. And I think that a lot of that has to do with the fact that you are a creative first. And I think that when you're a creative and you're a freelance, you know, most of your life, you have to be adaptable and you have to
Mm-hmm.
be ready for the next opportunity. So it's been really interesting and fun for me to kind of, you know, stalk you on the internet, find out more about you, to see how you've kind of gone through career to career. But at the end of the day, your career doesn't define you. You define you, and you have been successful in all those roles because of you and those skills. Like you just said, they are transferable. It doesn't belong to one occupation. It belongs
Absolutely.
to you. And I think people get really scared to maybe try on a new hat because they feel like they're so wrapped up in their identity. And I think it might be an American thing that we're really
You think?
uh, I think that we get a little wrapped up in what we do and not who we are.
Mhm.
And so I think you're a
Absolutely.
really great example of not, or at least trying not to get wrapped up in what you do and spending more time with who you are and who you can be to others.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So one more cheers because we're going to do a little fire round. We're going to keep it weird because we have to. So I'm just going to take a little sip of Chardonnay. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Cheers. All right.
This
This
is mescal, by the way.
is I love mezcal. It is one of my favorite drinks. So, what kind is it? What are you drinking?
Pita.
Ah, it's a good one. Isn't
Mhm.
that one of the housewives too from like Salt Lake City? Doesn't she own it?
Fucking, I don't know.
I mean, catch me on Bravo, just like watching all of this. No, tweet me later. Okay, so this is a fire round. It's basically a superhero or super weirdo. So I'm going to just name some names. Some alive, some not alive, some pop culture references, some not. And if you don't know anybody, you can just say pass or just be like, I don't know. Or you can make a guess. There are no rules. There are no
Sounds good.
rules.
I'm probably gonna be terrible at this game, but sure.
There are no wrong answers, just the answers
Okay.
that you create. Okay, ready? Superhero or super weirdo? Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Super weirdo.
Anthony Bourdain.
Super weirdo.
Lisa Rinna.
Superhero.
Kanye West.
Superhero.
Batman.
Super weirdo.
I think so too. The Fab Five.
Superheroes.
Anna Delvey.
I, I don't know who she is.
You can catch it on Netflix. Chelsea Handler.
Super hero and a weirdo.
Yeah, she's kind of both. Uh,
Yeah, she's such a
Quest,
boss.
right? I love her so much. Questlove.
Superhero.
Yes, and Barbie.
Super weirdo.
I think so too. You did listen. There you have it.
Listen, Barbie is weird. Why are you that perfect? Who does that?
I know. I think she's weird, but I really like that you said Batman was a super weirdo. I just saw the Batman and I was so excited that they made him so emo. I was waiting for him to just start singing My Chemical Romance at any moment.
I haven't seen it yet. But
It's
Batman is weird. I mean, he's always by himself. He's like not involved with himself. You know what I mean? It's just like
he's weird.
he's
He's
sleeping in caves. Like,
hanging
yeah.
out with bats. Like get out of here. I thought that this when you do see it, probably the most realistic version of Batman because he's obviously a virgin. He obviously like just like black makeup, like doesn't go outside, has to put sunglasses on. I'm ruining it for everyone, but he's
They
very emo. Very
they
emo.
finally got it right because they always make him out to be this like hunk, this charismatic man at the rich party. Like,
Oh, this dude is not getting laid. Let's be honest.
right.
But you know what? I love Batman. Big fan. Thank you so much for being here. You're a boss. You're a legend. You're a goddess.
Thank you. Thank you,
And
Jess.
of course, and to all those that are watching this, this is your daily reminder to be yourself and keep it weird. Head bitch out.